Jim, all that holistic stuff.
I just got here. That's fine. Seen you.
Lawrenceburg Parks and Playground being ordered. Roll call, please.
Member Jane Pope, present. Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Bill Bruner.
Here.
Member Mike Lawrence is absent. Member J.R. Holcraft. Attorney Leslie Votaw. Here. Utility Director Mel Davis.
Here.
President Mayor Dennis Carr.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements? Hearing none, approve minutes, previous meeting. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports. New business. Katie Long,
Yep, Katie Kwan.
did I get that right?
Yes, you did. Kwan. Yep, you said it right. Hello, I'm Katie Kwan with Hawksworth Blood Center, and I included in the packet, but I apologize, it doesn't say that it's Hawksworth, the statistics of blood that we've collected since June 2012 when we started doing blood drives at Agner Hall, and was just wanting to see again if you would waive the fees for rental. Hawksworth does provide over 30 hospitals, 2 of which are in Indiana, Dearborn County Hospital and Margaret Mary Health. And I do have dates already scheduled on the books that I booked through the clerk's treasurer's office. All right, thank you.
Any report?
I make a motion to waive the fees for Agner Hall for the blood drive.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Turn Holt, over the moon show, cleanup dates.
I'm Sharon Hurst, and this is Linda Sefton. We're 2 members of the 6-member committee that put on Over the Moon. We do it at Agner Hall twice a year in April and November, and we're asking to have 2 days prior to the show that's on Friday and Saturday for setup at a reduced rate of $50, and Sunday, the teardown date, for $50. We make no money off of the sale from the show. We charge $75 for a 10x10 booth and $50 for a table-sized booth. The money goes for the hall fees, a photographer, greenery, potted florals, flyers, ads in the Cincinnati Enquirer and Romantic Country Magazine and Flea Market, Garden, and Antique Weekly, and a banner. And we're asking for a waiver for 3 days, for Wednesday and Thursday and Sunday for $50 those days.
And you already have that reserved?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to allow Over the Moon show to rent Agner Hall for $50 for Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Could we have a blanket for this, for maybe while we're doing the show, a year or 2 years?
They usually make them come back every year, but you can try to schedule it, Jackie, for next year.
Okay,
Do that every year, they can come back.
okay, all righty, thank you.
It's
It's not changes.
Yeah, all righty, thank you.
There is Mark, Mineral Fairgrounds for mid-May.
Good evening. Larry Martin, I'm with the Iron Pigs Motorcycle Organization. We are an organization comprised of retired and active law enforcement officers and firefighters. We are looking at having a national event at Lawrenceburg Fairgrounds, and we're here to ask for the waiver of the price of the fairgrounds and for Agner Hall for May 15th through the 18th. We're a nonprofit organization, like I said, comprised of firefighters and law enforcement. Our national board does. We have a tax exempt through our own chapter. Sorry, I do have a certificate exempt for that.
Have you talked to someone in my office about the dates?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We've already had the dates booked. We've actually booked them back in September. We tried to get in the council before, and they told us to wait till after the first of the year.
Got the insurance and everything?
We can, whatever we need to handle, we'll take care of.
This is for the whole fairgrounds, correct?
Actually, I know the Speedway, you guys have something with that. We're asking for like where the middle grass section is, from that to the right, the pavilions and Agner Hall.
So what do you have to do?
We're having roughly about 300 law enforcement and firefighters coming in, like I said, a motorcycle organization. It's an Eastern Territory rally. It's for all of our chapters east of the Mississippi, approximately somewhere around 50, 60 chapters. It's just going to be a whole weekend event of entertainment. We have a big meeting that we do. We have a couple of live bands coming in for them. It's just a rally, basically.
The only thing is, what about Speedway on Saturday night? They usually use that for parking.
Have you talked to Mr. Russo?
I have tried several times. I have his number. We have been unable to get in contact with him. His voicemail tells us that the telephone voicemail has not been set up.
I think it's been in Florida.
Okay.
You may want to contact him, make sure they don't.
What date was that?
It's May 15th, Thursday night. We'll be setting up. The actual event will be Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday morning we'll be there, our chapter will be there cleaning up and tearing everything back down.
So the 16th and 17th, you'll be there?
Correct.
There is a race on the 17th.
That you won't be using, that you'll be cleaning up that day, right?
No, we'll be cleaning up Sunday, the 18th.
Oh,
And we've already got 2 of your hotels here locally booked already. One of them solid, the other one we're in the process of booking up.
You need to talk to Mr. Russo about the parking issue. He uses that for a racetrack.
Okay.
What do you think, Mr. Todd? I mean, as far as the parking actually in the midway,
Well, I don't know what event he has planned, but as the mayor said, they pretty well use that midway area.
We got a couple big shows, maybe, I don't know what the dates are on.
He just did post his new schedule.
I wrote it by calendar. I don't have what the event is, but there is a race that night.
Yeah, normally when someone wants to use anything besides Agner Hall, they have to speak with Mr. Russo. That's in his lease.
Okay. Like I said, we've been trying to make contact with him. We've been unsuccessful.
I mean, it'll probably be something that, do you have a card or anything, or a phone number that I can reach you?
I'm not sure if I do or not. Yes, I do.
If not, I have the number, no. Okay, thank you. We can give you a call back, we'll try to get a hold of Mr. Russo.
Okay. And we can discuss price and everything at that point, or?
Talk to Mr. Russo, he'll talk to you about it. You can come back on me, you got time.
Okay. Okay, because I need to try to get this wrapped up, because if not, then I might have to find a whole new location for this.
Right, I understand, and we don't want that to happen, we want to try to work with you, so, I'll contact Mr. Russo and see what the event is on 5/17.
We'll have a meeting third Monday this month, so.
Third Monday of this month?
See if you get there on that day.
Okay, and just do the same thing, come in and fill out paperwork for that?
It's going to be Tuesday
It's the 18th, Tuesday.
because of the holiday.
President's Day.
We have to advertise a board meeting and then parking meeting on that day.
Another work day. Okay.
That's Council Leslie.
Okay, with being a firefighter, I worked that day, so one of my other guys might be here having to represent for us, if that's not a problem.
Yeah, no, so you have to post it. If we're gonna do a special.
We're not city council.
Okay. Okay.
Make sure you back on the agenda.
All right, it's greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Any old business? Hearing none, review, discuss, claims, board approval. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Board works 5 minutes.
Yeah, well,
Get that tomorrow. Should try to have and encompass it into a regular meeting. Would you like to have a regular? That's what I was kind of tossing. I thought if I had it by the end of the day, I would fire an email back to Charter, back to Bill, and say, maybe think we should have one this week. But it was he should be. He should be concerned. Calling out. Hired me. I got hired in 96. Yes. I answered my phone today. I should have done that. Wake up. Mike, 9:30 this morning, he calls me. He's like, man, what are you doing? On my day off. Oh, can you come? Yeah, they're in Memphis for training. They went to till they'll be back Wednesday evening. They went down for SIG armor school so they can work on our guns. I don't know, Moorhead went with them, Joe did. Joe, Gina.
I can see it right back. I can see it right back.
I did. Oh, well, that's convenient. Ready? I got this firehouse over
Meeting order. Roll call, please.
There it is. Member Donnie Bryant.
Present.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Bill Bruner.
Here.
Member Mario Todd. Mayor Dennis Carr. I forget your rank. Police, Nick Myers.
Sergeant.
Sorry.
Here.
Fire Chief John Tremaine.
Here.
EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Here.
Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis.
Here.
And myself.
Any announcements? Hearing none, approve the minutes of previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Committee reports. Fire Department Chief John Tremaine.
Everybody should have a copy of January runs in front of you. I just dropped them off to you. It was a busy month for us. We had 64 total calls. Other than that, that's all I got.
Okay, Police Department Sergeant Nick Myers.
No report, Mayor.
EMS Director Bobby Mills.
No report, Mayor.
Anybody been doing anything?
Fire department.
I gave my 150 run back.
Oh, okay. New business. Carl Fryman, Affordable Janitor.
Like to table that, sir.
Discuss 2013 coming.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Motion.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Who made the motion, Bill?
Aaron.
Aaron, I'm sorry, okay.
Already second.
Yeah, I got that. Minutes, okay. And that was on affordable. Okay. My request somewhere, now I've lost the other paperwork, is, I shouldn't say we, Mel ordered a truck. Huh? No, honey, I got it. Mel ordered a truck for the utility department last summer, or sometime last year. It will not be until this year. So I'm wanting to encumber money from last year's budget, which there was money left in that line, into this year's, to pay for the truck when it gets here. And I also, we blew up a motor in one of the big trucks, to the tune of $15,000 some odd dollars, and I had $7,000 in a line that we weren't going to use, we didn't use last year, that I could move over. So neither one of those bills hits the budget real hard. So I just need your permission to go ahead and finish up the encumbrance. One of them, the vehicle was not quite $221,000, and then the motor was $15,070, but I'm only encumbering $7,000, which is this. And I sent all the board a letter Friday, I believe it was, telling them what I wanted to do and why. I didn't send the paper because I didn't have it ready, but I sent them all so they would know what it was about.
Any board?
Yeah, we ordered it last year, it just disappeared. On the utility truck, Jack, should that be Board of Works or utility board?
No, it should be board, it's not that it's utility truck, it's that it's encumbrance, and that's what it
Okay,
was.
okay.
I checked with the state there.
Okay, thank you.
I emailed them and asked my question.
That's the move. Second?
Second.
All in favor? All against? Ayes have it.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. Whole business? Let's go to all grand use contract.
The appropriations on this is not scheduled because of the cancellations from the winter storms we had on the 6th and the 21st of January. We weren't able to get it advertised for this meeting, but for the 18th. So therefore, I think you don't want to pass a contract that has not had its appropriations in line, because the appropriations will be up to council. So at this point, my recommendation is to table this until the 18th.
Need a motion table?
So move.
Second. All in favor?
Aaron? All right.
Yeah.
I never made a first
Did
and
I?
second.
That would be you.
Review and discuss claims for approval.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
So move.
Second. All in favor? We'll go in 5 minutes.
Oh, there it is? Yeah, that would be nice, especially if you had something that would be long and, you know, you have substantial. This was the triple, the 3-car head-on, wasn't it? Sunday morning? I think it was Sunday morning, was it Sunday morning? Saturday? I don't remember, it was Saturday. God text me about it afterwards.
Which he told me.
I just don't know because of the
Yeah, they can strip that thing all the way down. Basically, if they would take the SIG, completely break it apart, take every screw off, and then put it in the box, they'll put it back together. Basically, that's what they have to do to pass at the end of the school. Joe went to, I think he's got a Pat shop. I think he's got Colt and Remington.
Social Security Board meeting order. Roll call, please.
Member Jane Poe, present. Member Aaron Cook. Here. Member Bill Bruner. Member Mike Lawrence is absent. Member J.R. Holcraft. Attorney Leslie Votaw.
Here.
Lieutenant Director Mel Davis.
Here.
Mayor Dennis Carr. And myself.
Any announcements? Hearing none, approve minutes of previous meeting. So moved. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion.
Thank you.
Need a second.
Yeah, needed a second.
Oh.
Yes, second? Second. All in favor?
Okay, go ahead. That's okay. That's all right. Hey, it doesn't matter as long as I've got names. Yes.
Okay, committee reports.
Thank you, Your Honor. The projects that we have had delayed or restarted, hopefully will stay favorable. It's completed. And then I would like to request an executive session of the utility board to discuss the personnel issue Thursday at 4:30. As possible.
This Thursday, Mel?
Yeah.
What's that date, Mel?
6.
What's the date?
The 6th.
We have our meeting that day at 1 o'clock, right?
Right.
JR?
Yeah, 1 o'clock, open, take 3.5 hours.
I know. I'm okay with it. I'm not sure about Mr. Lawrence, but I'm okay with it.
What about this one? John? Okay, 4:30 Thursday.
October 30.
Yeah.
Post that.
That concludes my report.
New business? Hearing none, old business? Hearing none, review and discuss claims, board approval?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Member Jane Pope?
Present.
Member Aaron Cook?
Here.
Member Bill Werner?
Here.
Member Mike Lawrence is absent. Member J.R. Holcraft?
I'm here.
Sergeant Nick Meyer?
Here.
Police, Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine?
Here.
EMS Director Bobby Mills?
Here.
Attorney Leslie Botoff?
Here.
Utility Director Mel Davis? Mayor Dennis Carr? And myself.
Announcements?
Yeah, Mike Lawrence called me this afternoon and wanted the board to know that he couldn't be here this evening because his son's high school orientation was tonight at this time. So I told him I'd announce that. Yeah.
Approved minutes, previous meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Committee report, streets, alleys, and curbs, Aaron Cook.
No report, Mayor.
Finance, J.R. Holcraft.
Report's in the packet.
Fire Department, Bill Renner.
No report.
Assistant Police Chief, or Sergeant,
No report.
Fire Chief John Tremaine.
Nothing other than everybody should have the run totals for January.
EMS Director Bob Mills. No report. You guys are gonna start reporting something.
Yeah.
Building Department, Carl Fryman.
Yes, sir, I've got,
What'd you say?
We're gonna have staff meeting today, right now. Okay. New business. Tom Calvert, grant request.
Yes, this is carryover from our December 30th meeting. This is, this grant request was, we talked about it on December 30th. It was sent back to Redevelopment Commission for sponsorship. They approved sponsorship, so it's back in front of council for approval. Go back over the numbers on that. That was a $100,000 grant out of the Regional Economic Development Fund on a total value project of $1 million. And we have a representative here. Tom was out. So request the board for approval on that.
Does that not need to go back to the grant committee?
No, it's already been through the grant committee.
Well, I know, but they didn't have sponsorship at that time. I'm just asking.
It was understood that there would be.
Okay, all right.
on
Contingent
sponsorship.
upon.
Okay.
There's a couple of them like that day, so as long as the redevelopment
Okay.
did sponsor it, then we should do those.
Well, I'll make a motion to finalize the CMHC grant request on 12/30.
For a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All good? That's that.
Thank you.
Wall, Big Sergeant, Big Sisters.
Good evening. Big Brothers Big Sisters has been in Dearborn County for 30 years. We've been in Lawrenceburg schools for 5 years, and we are asking for you to, again, this year sponsor Bowl for Kids' Sake team. It's our big fundraiser for the area. It is $500. Greendale Police Department already is in, and we're hoping that you'll be able to do that again this year. It's Bowl for Kids' Sake. It's going to be March 9th at Durbin Bowl, and we ask for sponsorships and also for bowling teams. We serve over 90 kids just in the Lawrenceburg area in our school-based program, and have usually 50 to 60 high school students that serve as mentors in addition to the adult mentors. It is a proven substance abuse prevention type program, and so we really feel like we're helping children succeed in life, and in order to be able to do that, we need to have funds. So we're asking for that sponsorship again this year. Yes?
Do you guys have a team?
This year's theme is superheroes. Superhero for this year, yes. Which I think will be a fun one, because we feel like all of our bigs are superheroes, and that it really does make a difference. We're having 2 different times on March the 9th. One's at 3:30 and one's at 6. We encourage the families and kids to come at the 3:30 one, although we won't say they can't come at the 6 o'clock one, but we know the 6 o'clock one, we try to have that be the adult bowl.
Suzanne got a group together last time. I know I bowled.
And we will have prizes again for the best dressed now with our superheroes, and we have the theme at a time. So that's great.
Sponsorship.
Same price.
It's $500.
Make a motion to sponsor a team. Bowl this year.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yay, superheroes.
Carl, you have to get your cape on.
Pat Ryder, Main Street report.
Good evening. In 2010, the council voted to authorize Main Street to use existing link loan monies and convert those into a building improvement grant program, which we did. And in the intervening years, we have completed 17 projects, and there's still 2 projects ongoing. A couple of months ago, council encouraged us to use look at the remaining funds in the building improvement grant program, and to look at some worthy projects and properties that could be improved with those funds. So I'm here today to give you that report. We have spent a great deal of time and consideration in trying to figure out how to best expend those remaining dollars. The remaining available funds are $80,000. Put a great deal of thought into this plan. The Main Street Board has approved it, and I'm here today to report to you. We always want to coordinate our efforts with the city as to how we intend to proceed with those dollars. First of all, I think it's very important for you to understand the considerations that we made when we made these decisions. The first consideration is that exterior projects benefit on so many levels. 3 of these projects, of the 5 projects in here, are total exterior projects. One is a total rehab, which includes interior and exterior considerations, and one which has a very minimal interior improvement feature. So these are all exterior projects. Exterior projects are great for the community in general. They make it look better. They make it more welcoming for visitors, for citizens. They attract new business. When your downtown looks good, more businesses want to locate here. More businesses locate here, that's economic development, that's jobs, that's increased revenues into your town. As we do more and more buildings, the overall value of the real estate in our town is going to increase. When that happens, that has a very positive effect on the tax base. So for that reason, the first consideration is the importance of exterior projects. Our second consideration is that building rehab is problematic. It's problematic on several levels. If you're an owner, your investment when you complete your project is probably going to exceed the appraised value of that property. That's pretty discouraging to property owners. It's important to have a tool that allows us to reduce that margin of loss that those property owners are going to realize. The other reason that the cost of building rehab is problematic is because if you're a property owner, you rehab your building, and you have some extraordinary costs, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to raise the rent for your tenant. You've got to cover those costs. When you raise those rents, that means some of those rents are really becoming unaffordable for small business. And if you start really analyzing the buildings we have down here, these buildings are laid out for small business. They are not laid out for big business. So that's just the way the layouts are. So for that reason, for those reasons, building rehab is really very problematic. The third consideration is the event center. Whether you supported it or not, that event center represents a large investment on the part of the city. It's really important that everything that surrounds that event center is attractive. And not only that, let's face it, I think it's a matter of community pride. If we're going to invite people to come down here, we want to look our best. So that event center was certainly a consideration in putting this project together. The fourth consideration is we believe it's very critical that property owners participate in their project, whether that project represents an investment that they have made in recent years or an investment that they're going to make into these projects that we're describing right now. We've all talked about it. It's important for everyone to have skin in the game for this to succeed. So that was one of our considerations. And the fifth consideration is the current ownership of a property should not be an overriding concern. If a building looks good, it looks good for the whole community, irregardless of who owns it, and it benefits the property owners on either side, and it benefits everybody who comes into the downtown. And I have to tell you, the number of people who have the resources or access to the resources and are willing to take a risk on building rehab, it's a handful of people. I can tell you, I don't have a line of people out the Main Street door waiting to make investments down here. So for all those considerations, we're making the following proposals, or we have the following proposal in our plan. And I think I gave you a pretty detailed outline of all the projects. And I'll just touch on those very shortly here. The first is 207 Walnut, and for lack of a better term, I'll call it the Seymour Building. That project, we kind of look at that as a cooperative project with redevelopment. Redevelopment secured the building and resold it. Mr. Seymour began to rehab it. He's done an excellent job. In fact, I think he exceeded expectations in that he tried to bring that storefront, and I think did a great job of bringing it back to what it probably looked like, or as close as what it looked like originally, and the whole interior of the building is absolutely a new building. Like I said, it's an extraordinary job. We're intending to fund this project because, first of all, he did such a good job. He has a history of doing very good work that has enhanced the downtown. And initially, he took out a construction loan to do that project. In the end, he spent twice that construction loan in order to complete that project. So his property currently appraises less than his investment. We think it's important to encourage people who are willing to take a risk. And we would like to, our suggestion is a $20,000 grant to Mr. Seymour. The second project is 100 Vine Street, and that's Cyclops Bike. If you've been to that bike shop, that isn't a very old business, but it has gradually grown. And the gentleman that owns it has worked very hard at this. What's interesting about Cyclops, and one of the reasons we would like to fund it, is because it brings into town a lot of people who are not from here. He has a niche product. He has old and new and vintage bikes. 75% of his customers come from outside this area. And when they come in, he tells them all about Lawrenceburg and sends them to the local businesses. He's already started a little expansion in there. He's invested $2,000 of his own money. He needs some additional funding. His funding is for opening an interior wall. That's about the only interior piece he has. A new entryway and window into his storefront, gates to secure his product. He's got some old garage doors that aren't very secure as far as his inventory is concerned. He has worked very hard at this. We think he's a great match for the downtown. His product, bikes, fits great with the bike trail, which we hope and we see is actually growing in popularity. Not only that, he has some things that he thinks he can do in conjunction with the people who come to the event center. So we think this is a great project. It fits downtown very well. He is not asking for a lot of money. He has had an opportunity, I will tell you. He has been offered free space in northern Kentucky, and he has been encouraged to go up to the Clifton area. But he's from here. He wants to stay here in this area. This is where his family lives. So we would like to fund that project to the tune of $5,000 just to complete some repairs.
Quick question, I mean, I know he does the vintage bikes, but does he repair?
Yes.
He repairs? Very good.
Yes.
I mean, that's definitely something he needs to get out there, because, you know, it's not real clear on what it is, if it's just sales or whatever, but, yeah, because I've asked, a lot of people have asked me, and I didn't know, so thank you.
Well, that's one of his problems.
On sidewalks. He rehabbed my 1970s bike.
Did he?
Yes, he did.
I bet he did a great job, too.
He did.
Yes. And Leslie, you mentioned about the exterior of the building. He said one of the problems he has is because people can't, like, see him very well, they don't know if he's motorcycles or what. And now his plan is for the exterior to do a retro style with the words bicycles on the outside. So we just think he's a great fit for downtown, a new business, somebody who's really working hard, deserves to be encouraged. The third project is the Elks Club. You know, this is a building I think we've all admired. It's a lovely historic building. It has not been used much. It is only used in the rear first floor for the most part. As a result, because of minimal use and limited financial resources, that building has developed quite a few problems. Most of these our exterior problems is what we're dealing with. You've seen the peeling paint. You've seen deterioration on the rear of the building. It needs some work on the gutters, some tuck pointing, new doors and windows on the front, and paint. And that's the bulk of the work to be done. We believe this project is an important project. It's an attractive older building. It sits directly across from the event center. I think you've got a photo in there of what everything looks like. That's from the second floor of the event center, and you can see how some of those buildings would look to a visitor. This is a group that obviously has limited financial resources. They probably give back to the community to the tune of $2,000 to $3,000 every year. They have made an investment in the building. They've had to replace the roof. When this project came up, we discussed it with them, and they are extremely excited because they don't have the resources to do it. But they are planning that when the facade project is completed, they are going to redo all the landscaping in front. So they have an investment in the past. They're planning on participating with more investment in the future. So the Elks Club, we have that project at $25,000. The fourth project is 9 West High, Jeannie's Wellness. It's a small two-story building, commercial on the first floor. It's a by-appointment business on the first floor. Second floor is residential. The building sits between the trading post, which has been rehabbed. It was one of our rehab projects and looks very good. If you remember what it looked like before, it looks excellent now. And on the other side is a soon-to-open business, Beebs and Bubs, which has been, if you've seen that lately, the owner has done a beautiful job on that facade. So this building sits in between and is in need of work. It needs new windows, it needs new storefront, there's some gutter work to be done. It just needs totally rehabbed. We would take the old siding off, put hardy board on, remove that cedar shake awning, just a total rehab. It would look a lot like the Trading Post looks. We think those are pretty much twin buildings. That owner has owned the building for a while. She's invested a minimum at this point of $20,000 in rehab to the second floor apartment, which was in very, very bad shape when she got the building. She's also done rehab work on her first floor, suspended ceilings, walls, carpet, etc. So our projection on that is $18,000 for that rehab. Then the fifth rehab is 5 West High, which is Roxy's Salon. This is also a commercial building on the first floor. It has a second floor residential unit that is currently leased. The owner has done previous work on this building. We recommend this building because this is a business that has done very well. The owner has worked very hard at making it successful in the downtown. It is also part of that block that is directly across from the new event center. The scope of work would basically be gutter repair, some deteriorated windows, replacing those, and relining gutters and painting the facade. Since purchasing the building, the owners invested $7,000 in improvements to the interior, and the owner wishes to participate in this project by purchasing the windows, the new windows that are to be placed in the building. That project is estimated at $7,500. If we add all that up, we come to $75,500 for those 5 projects. And that leaves us with a remainder of $4,500. We feel that on some of these projects, we're going to be able to save some money, and they may come in less than anticipated. And we're hoping if that's the case, then we think we can maybe fund another small project yet with this balance. The one thing I would tell you is that we would handle these projects the way we've handled all our projects in the past. There are signed agreements. Nothing is paid unless an invoice is submitted. We don't pay invoices for labor until the labor is complete. We don't pay invoices for materials until the materials are installed or on site. If there's work to be done that has compliance issues with planning and zoning, we check with planning and zoning first before we pay anything. If there are compliance issues with the building inspector, those are checked before we pay anything. Everything is very carefully documented. We would continue to do that. We do inspect to make sure work is done and the materials are installed or on site. And the one advantage of the program as we've put this together is that the estimates that we have gotten have all come from local contractors. So this is money going back into the pockets of local contractors. We will have a timeline. We would anticipate that some of these projects could begin as early as this weather breaks, and hopefully by early to midsummer we would have them completed. Those are our plans, those are our projects. We're very excited about them, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have about this.
I'd just like to thank you for your report, and I want to thank you for getting the money out to the businesses that do need it.
Well, we think these are all really very good projects, and I think they're going to make a major impact on the downtown when they're all completed.
Glad to see local contractors get work.
Yes, that's been very, very important to us. They're the first ones we went to, and they're all working with us. They're very enthusiastic about having an opportunity to do some work down here. Anything else?
I would just like to let the board know that my wife does own one of the buildings located across the street from the event center, and I did file that in my annual conflict of interest at the beginning of the year. No.
Okay. Thank you very much, and if you do have any other questions, feel free to stop down the office or call us anytime. Thank you so much.
Let's vote on proposed amendments to the salary ordinance.
I did get to talk to most of you before the meeting. This will be for our next meeting, which I'll try to get a copy of Mr. Lawrence too, so that everybody has a copy. The holdup as far as not going through with this tonight is the mayor's assistant redevelopment director. As I stated before, those appropriations haven't been done and aren't scheduled as far as the required time for publication until the 18th. So, kind of holding off on that until that's done. I think, as far as I can remember, when we did this back originally, it was in meeting in October, salary ordinance, original salary ordinance. The amount under the mayor's assistant was knocked down to $80,000. It was amended to $80,000. And I believe your intentions were that once you had a signed contract, that it would go to what he should be at, which is listed in here. So
That's not correct, though, according to the budget, what we budgeted for him.
we've gone round and round, Jane, on this, but it is correct. This would be the amount.
I got the budget book right here. In the budget, it's not that amount.
The budget is for 82,560?
Yes.
Okay, that 82,560 was last year's amount. So the additional appropriation based on that would be 2602, I believe.
Actually, it was 80,000 because he didn't sign the contract. If he would have signed the contract, it would have went up to the 82. Now you're trying to bring him up to 85.
Okay, so your stance on this is so I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong. He had a valid contract the first year in 2012, correct?
I don't know if you did or not. Did you sign your first year's contract, Mr. Grant?
So, I mean, because the whole stink, as far as all these employment contracts, and I wasn't here, was that it was excess of appropriations, correct?
Yes, I just know what the budget, he was budgeted for his raise like everybody else was. And it was at the 82,560.
And the 2014 budget, right?
Yes, yeah, the budget we just passed. And now you want to give him 85 something.
Well, that's according to this the contract. I mean, that's going to be up to you all to decide. And that's the quandary I have as far as presenting this amendment, because I wasn't sure what the appropriation will come in at, what you guys will decide on the appropriation, whether you'll decide to do. Right now, the appropriation is advertised for $2,500 for the 18th, I believe, Jackie, right? But there's nothing to say that you can't approve another, 20, it would be another 26. Yeah, it would be approximately $2,600 if you give them the 85 to go to. So, but at any rate, that's why I have proposed amendments to salary ordinance. The other thing in here, if you want to review it before the next meeting, under section 2 of the original ordinance, G, and it's listed in here. That's also changed, which has to do, and that's just because of the re-lettering or renumbering the Roman numerals in the union contract were renumbered, which I was not aware of. And so we had to go through, Jenny and I sat down today and went through all of those to make sure that those were applicable. Those sections are the only ones that are applicable to the non-union positions. But of course, if anybody has any questions in between time, they can contact me. That's all I have.
Jackie said it's in a local agreement with Joel Devon.
Yeah, I received from the county a copy of the interlocal agreement for consulting services with Lewis and Campus, which is Jewel, that our share is $24,000 per year to the county for the term of this agreement. I know that we talked at the last meeting about getting our own lobbyist and possibly, and keeping her for a while. I just need to know what to do with this.
Well, go ahead.
I believe we should retain Jewel for at least 6 months to a year. I'm afraid that she'll work for the county harder than she'll work for us, but then Leslie's got a good argument too. But I feel like we should retain her. She's worked with us for all these years, and I really even think we should carry her through the first year with our new. And if anybody agrees with me and back me up on that, I appreciate your support.
I don't disagree.
I think it's smart idea.
Yeah, I think coordination effort between the two hurts.
The more we got fighting for us, the better off we are.
Whatever y'all think. My opinion is, these lobbyists, I mean, not much to say about my own profession, but they're lawyers. And if you have it's two people arguing, they may not have our interests. The whole reason that we're going with a different lobbyist than the county is because they may be looking at different issues that are not beneficial to us. So my thing is, we let her know we'll do this for 6 months, and then 6 months we start with the new lobbyist. Because I mean, at this point, the session is almost over. Is that correct? I mean, they're talking about summer sessions, which we would want to get the new lobbyists in, talking to people.
Way before then. We're starting now. We're setting groundwork now for summer.
Well, and I think they've approved the funds to go ahead and, from the 10 county grant, you guys moved last time to go ahead and hire the new, but I just don't think, I don't think, the whole reason that we wanted to get the new one was because there might be some kind of conflict of interest with the firm that we're currently using, and I just don't see it as beneficial.
I think, Jane, you suggested 6 months, correct?
I would really like to retain her to a year, but she does have a good argument. I don't care if lobbyist period, but you have to have.
Right.
Grant's been working with legislation. If he wants, we're gonna go to a year, I'm fine with it, but I think we should retain her at least for 6 months to a year. Grant, what is your real opinion on that?
We can do 6 months.
With what we saw coming out of the legislature with 364 and some of those bills, and for the transition, I don't think, really the issue is that we're hiring a firm to concentrate just on us, as far as, and not the county or anything like that. So personally, I think, don't want to leave anything drop through the cracks. I would suggest a 12-month keeper for the year, and then reevaluate after that, because it's a lot of what's been done, and the switch over has given us some indication that there's going to be a lot to do this summer and fall and next year.
That's me one, that's me 38.
I mean, that's just on gaming, the redevelopment commission and some of the changes they're trying to do there, and some of the assessment issues and that. And I've talked to both firms, and they've worked together before, and they can coordinate their effort.
So they changed their team as far as that goes then? Because the firm we were talking to as far as the new lobbyist said it wouldn't work having two at once.
With my discussions and the desire of council not throwing the last one out completely, they said they'll make it work.
Okay. As long as they're fine with it, that's, I just wanted to make sure the potential conflict there.
We need a motion to enter into that?
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to enter into the interlocal agreement with Jewel Bonus for another year. I guess we're just talking 214, right?
Yeah.
December 31st.
It is December. There's a copy of it in your packets. Yes, I have it.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Ayes have it. Aaron Cook, city calendar.
Yeah, those rains, that's trouble running, so close to the deadline last year. I just want to know the board wanted me to start working on it again and bring you back updates, or you mean in charge of that again or not?
Good fine job out there.
You did an awesome job.
And I really appreciate it, Aaron.
I did it for you.
I know.
So everybody wants me to do it, handle that again for now.
That'd be great.
All board in agreement? Motion. For second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Your job.
I'll bring back updates as I get them throughout the next few months.
Okay, high-speed parking too?
Yeah, I want to see how it's worked out. I get a lot of complaints from, Short Street to Mary on High Street, all the businesses, because there's no parking through there. I want to see how the board felt about making that 2-hour parking, since the event center is going to be open, in a few months, and they already have parking issues as it is now. I figured 2-hour parking would deter event center patrons from parking in front of businesses.
No, the problem is, as far as our business, we don't have enough parking back for everybody.
Yeah, you've only got 3 spots back
Right,
there.
so, well, and kind of Jetto, of course,
Yeah.
the Ash Park back there, but, we have 5 people.
And like Dick Martin, he doesn't have any rear parking. I mean, there's a lot of issues. I thought that's the best solution I could come up with for how the board would feel about 2-hour parking.
I did get a phone call today from the bicycle shop with the same regards. They were requesting 2-hour parking signs on their side of the street.
How do you feel about that, Evie? I mean, you've already been knocked down to parallel parking.
Can't say anything. We'll come right in.
15 minutes on the side.
We get customers that park behind our office regularly. Mario and Mike Clark and I have been talking about parking spaces for years behind our lot.
What about that bank? The bank
You can't solve the issue unless you get the bank involved, unless you get Bob Rezzo involved today, who I understand controls the bank parking lot. You won't be able to solve the parking problem in downtown Lawrenceburg.
Yeah, I'm not trying to solve, I'm trying to prevent it from getting any worse, because right now it's already crazy enough, but when the event center
We get
opens.
contractors, we get workers that park there. And I've called Mario, I mean, we get them parked there. We'll let them go for a while, 2 to 4 hours, but you can only be so kind, so.
And like today, we ran off quite a few just around the corner from, like I said, the bicycle shop and the restaurant there.
Yeah, I've seen some guys in front of John Davis's building.
You get food vendors to park down there. I mean, geez. Aaron, you get complaints, but that issue's bigger than these complaints you get. It's a bigger issue, in my opinion.
That's the only solution I could think of right now to prevent it from getting any worse in July, so.
Well, what about the parking that's on Short? I mean, both of those lots right now are being used by contractors.
Correct.
Right, that are working on the event center.
Right, those will free up after.
So that will be some, at least, that both of those lots will be available, right?
Correct.
So that, I mean, that's some, it may be signage as far as,
And we do have a third lot
you know.
available now too, it's the Hummel Insurance.
Oh, yes, we bought that, or we exchanged it for, yeah. So there's 3 lots there that can potentially put people down to.
You think the people going to Dick Martin shop are gonna park 3 blocks down the street?
Well, I don't.
I mean, he'd only have any parking for himself and he lives there. He don't have any rear parking.
Well, Aaron, we're looking to go back to angle parking also, if we can make it work on the High Street section too. We've got it temporary right now.
Not anything's not right now, because, I mean, they've been making it work for this long time, but when the event center opens, everybody's gonna park across the street because the front door's right there. And no matter if it's angled parking, I mean, there's not 1,800 spots across the street. I was just trying to, if they see 2-hour parking, it might deter them even if it deters half of them, that's only half the parking that's not parked there.
We used to have the problem over here on the east side, it never deterred anyone. They tow them every day, every weekend.
What is there anything with the police department?
I know we did repeal or you guys repealed the $50 residential only parking over on the east side. It limits us down to about roughly a $5 ticket on a parking ticket. So, I mean, there's not much punch there to deter anybody. So, I mean, even if we go to the 2-hour parking and we write a ticket, we're only going to still be, according to ordinance, able to write a $5 ticket.
And you'll see some 2-hour signs are posted there on Vine Street.
Down, so starting by the library is where the sign starts, but, down this way, where the event center is on effect. I know, right there at the corner by the library is where the first one is, I believe.
Correct.
If you want 2-hour parking, usually it finds that too, so furniture.
I'm all for that.
It's the same number thing as this, they don't pay the fine.
They paid the $50 one, Mayor, like nothing. On the residential on the east side, when we had those, they would pay those $50 parking tickets like nothing.
Well, how about doubling it then?
Whatever you guys want to do,
Yeah,
we'll gladly enforce whatever you decide.
Well, I'm just afraid, I mean, as far as my business goes, and our,
You got the parking lot right across the street.
if you
That'd be
have
freed up.
mediation or something, it'll last for like 3 hours or 4 hours.
You got 20 spots across the street, it's to be freed up, they say, when the event center open, so you're good.
No, the one across the street's not good. Yeah, but the burnout lot, that's UCB mostly, I don't know if it's mostly UCB, but those aren't contractors that park there.
UCB's parking in the parking garage.
Oh, really? Well, who's parking in the burnout lot then? It's not contractors, because they walk down to the other.
Work one parks there a lot, but someone could tell them to park in the Hummel, but.
I mean, maybe just more direction. There's definitely gonna be an issue. We'll have to address it. That's just not a city attorney, but as a business person downtown.
Never used it.
We do have to address it, like Aaron said, because the small businesses need to be easily accessed. 2-hour parking, $100 fine, I don't know, we should have thought about this.
Well, we have a parking problem.
Take your name, 'cause I don't know.
Yeah. Bill Kreider, my suggestion is that you put 2-hour parking where it's called for, not throughout the downtown, but where it's called for, and then good signage, wayfinders, signs that dictate that there's extended parking elsewhere, and raise the fine.
What do you guys want me to tell these people?
I think, too bad Mike's not here. He loves this discussion.
He's got a tow truck, I think he just.
$100 fine, guaranteed.
Well, I think also like Lawrence might be able to weigh in as well.
You love that increasing business.
I guess, but still.
At the same time, we want people downtown, we're gonna get them downtown.
Yeah.
Fine them and say,
Then you're gonna find
"It's gotta be in there."
$100.
It's a hard mix, I mean, you got to deal with the local businesses you have there now.
But he's right, bringing visitors in and then slapping them with a.
That was the same problem, remember, we had with the temporary boat.
Aaron, is it a daytime issue or nighttime?
Daytime.
Daytime, so maybe it's 8 to 6 or something. 8 to 5.
I can take a survey when the business is closed down through there.
But, well, I'd say 5, most of them 5. Then downtown closes at 5.
Well, you want to catch the.
I think there's an order that says you don't have to move in 7 days.
I think it's actually 30.
This is on the books.
Is it 7 or 30 days?
7 days. It doesn't say how far you're moving.
So tell them to start parking in front of the library because those signs are invalid. They got 30-minute parking or 2-hour parking, I can't remember which one. Is it 2 hour?
2 hour on the corner.
So I'll just start parking there, and when they try to say something, I'll say, Mayor said it's 7 days.
I think it probably says unless otherwise.
You have to check to see if they're there by what.
Doesn't say unless otherwise.
It is something we're gonna have to deal with.
Well, then it's something where, as far as we're gonna have to look at the ordinance then too.
I'll survey and see like when the business hours are,
And I'll look at the ordinance, see what we got as far as the parking ordinance.
Okay. Old business, Lawrenceburg City Attorney.
Mike couldn't be here tonight, he asked me to table this one more time, and I told him I would try, so I'll make a motion to table it until he can be here.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Roll call.
Jane,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Bill?
No.
Okay. Mike's gone, JR?
No.
Okay. It's two, my dear. You. Huh? Oh, okay, it's 2-2.
Any comments from the audience? No comments? We can discuss claims for approval.
So moved.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Me and my